And I'm Tom, and today we're taking a look at Suspicion. Now, Suspicion is a game of secret identity and deduction, and in this game, you're invited to a masquerade party at the estate of our collector, Baron Whitetooth, but we're all jewel thieves. Apparently, everyone is at the same party being jewel thieves, and you want to steal lots of jewels and also at the same time say, "Look at her, thief!" I guess. So it's kind of like Clue. It's a deduction game, one where you're going to use paper and pad to keep track of everything. Look. There are two goals in Suspicion. One of those goals is to collect gems. A set of all 3 gems is going to be worth 6 points. Each gem that's not part of a set is worth 1. Also, trying to figure out who other people are. You're going to get 7 points if you figure out who each person is at the beginning of the game. Each person's going to get a card given to them that shows which of these characters you are. The rest of the cards for people not in the game are going to be placed there. And each person has a sheet here in which they're going to keep track of who they think is what. And the game does also provide pencils to keep track of that. Now, players are going to have a handful of 2 cards, and on your turn, you're going to, first of all, roll 2 dice. These dice are going to let you move 2 people 1 space, so I might move that player there. And then the black one says I can pick anybody I want, the question mark, so I might move the blue person into this room. Then the player plays a card. Now, many of the cards show this on them. That means you can take a gem in the room that you're in. So let's say, for example, I am Reme LaRoque, and that's the gray player. So I can take either a blue gem or an orange gem. So let's say I decide to take an orange gem. At that point, every other player knows that this is not my character because there's no orange gem in that room. And this is not my character, and this is not my character, and this is not my character because there are no orange gems in any of those rooms. So they can cross those off. If it shows just a gem, I'll take one of the gems from the pile, and that doesn't mean it came from my room. If it shows the card symbol here, I can take a look at the top card of the deck and put that card underneath, thus eliminating that person from being one of the folks involved. If it shows a trapdoor, I can move one person on the board to any other spot on the board. Now you'll notice there are 2 actions on every card, and most of the time one of the actions will show a person. So I can say, Billy, Buford, can your character see Buford? So he'll look at his character, and let's say his character is her, he would say yes. But he doesn't say yes because that gives information out to everybody else. Instead, each person has a yes or no card, and they will hand me the correct card, yes or no. So if he says that the character can see Buford, then I know that the character could be Buford himself. It could also be these 3 characters because they all have a direct line of sight. It could be these 2 characters. But it is definitely not these 4 characters because they cannot see Buford. So I can cross out that information. That is information that only I know. And then you'll draw another card. So each card is some combination of these different actions. And you will keep going until one of the types of gems is gone. And there are different amounts of gems based on a number of players. When one type of gems are gone, players will score 4 gems. Everyone will reveal who they are. You can quick guess who you think each person is. You might have figured it out. You'll circle it on the sheet here. So for example, here's a fully finished sheet, and everyone has circled who they think each person is. And you get points for getting people correct added to your gem points. Most points is the winner. So first, let's talk about the look of the game. The game has a black and white feel to it. The color of the characters and the jewels really stand out because if you look at this board, and you can see here as we look across the board, it's kind of a cool looking board. What do you think of this board?
Who, me?
Yeah, well, who else would I talk to?
The people out there.
Oh, that's right, you guys. But anyway, what do you think, Melody?
I liked it. I liked how the jewel really popped out on the black and white.
Yeah, they actually look like stickers almost. I don't know how they put them on, but
I think they are stickers.
It has that whole old-timey feel to it here.
Stickers.
Well, yeah, but okay, they're stickers. But they came with the game. You don't have to put them on yourselves. The gems, the cards. The only thing that's kind of weird are these dice. They're like cubes with the things painted on them. I wonder if that will come off after a while. They certainly don't feel like dice. They feel like you're rolling cubes, maybe?
Giant cubes.
They're okay.
Not giant, but bigger.
And the pads of paper have color on them, which is nice, and the pencils. And so The components of the game are fine. The only thing I really don't like is the box. I think this size box is really too big to fit on shelves these days. But the game itself, it's a deduction game. What did you think about that part, keeping track of who people were and things?
I love doing deduction games and just like trying to figure out who the people are, and but I don't like the part when you're like, I found out who you are, and then you find out that's not them. Like that's kind of disappointing, but it's still a lot of fun, just like a detective kind of thing.
With every deduction game that exists, if someone makes a mistake in how they answer something or do something, they can mess everybody up.
Yeah.
So that's not necessarily a fault of the game, but that can happen in this game like it can in many others. I will say, however, that the deduction element of this game is one of the easiest ones there is. You can see the person or you can't see the person. The person picked up an orange gem, therefore they're not in any room with an orange gem. And everyone is crossing off the same stuff at the same time, except when you give that card to someone and they say yes or no. Or if you look at a card and get that information that way.
Yeah.
It's kind of annoying, though, because the card you look at gets put on the bottom. If you don't count those cards of the ones, you could end up drawing the same one you've already seen when you play those cards. So the deductive element of this...
Especially with more players, less players.
Because there's fewer cards there with less players, right. And because the deduction of this game is so simple, and the game doesn't go till you run out of gems, I have not played this game yet where I haven't figured out everybody way before the game ends. Not like the last turn, but like several turns.
Lucky you.
And I feel like the game is too long. It's an interesting game enough, but there's a certain number of gems used per player. I would take off some of those gems, honestly. I feel like the game just drags out a little bit. And also there's kind of those moments, if you play with one person who's slower crossing things off, it can really drag the game down. Like, okay, I took an orange gem. Everyone's like, okay, next. And I'm like, wait. Before you go, I'm still marking mine off. And you're like, really? You know, or if someone just takes a long time at the deduction part, that can slow it down a bit. Now, moving the people each turn with these, you go into different spots and you're trying to set it up so that when you ask someone a question, you will eliminate 50% of the answers.
Yeah.
In this game, it's a little similar to Mr. Jack, which I don't think you've played, but it has that kind of feel to it. What did you think about that part?
I thought that was pretty cool, especially if you have like the right cards and you just happen to roll a die. That would be able to work really well with the question that you're going to ask. So. Right.
This is a little superfluous, moving the people around. Sometimes you're like, okay, I'll just move these people.
Yeah.
I don't really care where I move them because the card I'm going to play, you have a hand of 2 cards. Sometimes the cards you play just aren't really cards that are going to help you out that much. But the whole thing is a light style type of game. What do you think? What's your final thoughts and opinion?
I thought it was really fun to play, but I learned that with a lot of players, it's not going to be as fun.
You think it'd be better with fewer players?
Yeah, because for me, I was like, okay, it's not this, but it's probably going to be that person. And I think there are too many characters for me to like kind of figure out who's who, because 10 is a lot, and especially if you have like a lot of players. Like,
I don't know if I agree on that. I like having trying to figure out who the people are. The max players is 6, and so you have 5 other people you're keeping track of. I think I like it more with more players in the deductive element, but I like heavy deduction games. Well, so do you, though. You like Alchemists. This one's way easier than Alchemists to figure out people.
I don't know. It just didn't really click with me for this one.
Well, it didn't click with me either, and that's because I love the look of the game. I like the idea of the game. It's just too long. For how simple the game is, it's too long, and I don't like the cards that say, just take an orange gem.
Yeah. And
they're too powerful.
Yeah, the luck of the cards sometimes, just like, you could get like a powerful card like that, but also at the same time, you can't really figure out anyone, so you have to wait like another turn to be able to figure it out.
Yeah, I would have preferred it like in 5 cards face up, and you pick one of those cards, and then it's replaced, and the next person has 5 cards to choose from, or something that gives you more choice of what to do. As it is, it's a very light game that outstays its welcome. For me, it would probably be a 5 out of 10. What about you?
Like a 6.
Well, you like it more than me then.
Yeah.
All right. Well, there you go. That's Suspicion. Until next time, I'm Tom Vassell.
And I'm Melody.
And this has been Double Trouble.
Boom.
Thanks so much for watching the Dice Tower videos. Find more great videos and reviews, as well as our top-rated audio podcast at Dicetower.com. You can also find other great shows at DicetowerNetwork.com. I'm Eric Summerer, and you've been watching The Dice Tower. The Dice Tower is sponsored by Cool Stuff Inc., where you can find great games for great prices. Cool Stuff in stock. Check them out at coolstuffinc.com.